but you're talking about a cultural shift. It's not that wellness and well-being has become an add-on to HR or something that we have to do. This has become a core culture.
Yes,
so it's become
that's what
a
we're trying to push.
focal point. Anybody starts working in the mine, this is the way we work. It is the way it is.
Yeah, all right. So thank you for having me. As you said, my name is Grace Kombe.
Yeah.
I have worked as a wellness coordinator for a copper mine in Zambia for the past 4.5 years. Now, transitioning careers into corporate affairs, but I still will be kind of taking the wellness aspect of it with me. And it's been, I think, the most fulfilling part of my career so far. I really enjoyed it, being able to see the change in people's lives on a daily basis, and seeing that the work that we do has a direct effect on people's well-being and just their lives in a positive way overall has been very enriching and kind of just fulfilling to me. So yeah, love being in the wellness space. And I think it's part of you forever. So yeah.
Okay. Well, Grace, you're loving it. You're getting results. So what have you been putting into place, or your employer with them, they've been putting into place that's been working so well?
Yeah. So basically, I have worked across 2 copper mines, which fall under the same company for the past 4 to 5 years. And it's working with a workforce of over 8,000 people across both sides. And then it's a wellness team of, I'm the coordinator for both sides. And then under me would be, say, 2 people under each side. So having to make programs for such a large number of people. So what we do is what started out as, I'm sure you've heard of like a Wellness Wednesday.
Yeah.
So initially we'd have monthly themes. So say this January would be Nutrition Awareness Month. February, for example, may be mental well-being month. March may be physical well-being. So kind of all the dimensions of wellness. So we had been doing that for the first 2 years of me working in the role. And what this would mean is each week would reach out to a different department and ask if we could have 40 minutes of their time each week, and then see the employees in that department, and based on the theme for that month, speak about that particular theme. But based on the number of employees we do have on the mine site, Wellness Wednesday became pretty much 4 days in a week. So we have a Wellness Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And now we moved on to quarterly themes, because monthly themes a month wasn't enough to exhaust the topic across all the employee and the workforce. So now we'll do that quarterly. And then in addition to that, because we wouldn't be able to catch every employee during a Wellness Wednesday, we then so we incorporated webinars, in-person talks once employees get off work. So it's kind of, they get to choose what they want to attend, but then still based on the same quarterly theme. So if you missed a Wellness Wednesday, we may have a webinar on the same topic where we'll bring in a professional to speak about that particular area. If you missed that, each quarter, we now have end of quarter interdepartmental events. So it could be a quiz night. It changes every quarter, or games night, but based on that particular theme. So if it's a quiz night and it's, say, physical well-being, some sections will just be general knowledge, and then some sections will be actual physical well-being related questions, just to see if they're getting the information we're sharing during the quarter. So we do interdepartmental events, we do Wellness Wednesdays, we do webinars, we do talks after work, and then just a lot of IEC material. So that would be from our pamphlets to our brochures, and just different training material on the quarterly themes that we're focusing on. So that's kind of how we've been reaching our workforce. The program has come a long way over the past 4 years from when it first started, and it has evolved, and we can kind of see the change in people based on their attendance of our events or our webinars, or just them showing up for Wellness Wednesday. When we started, it took a lot of convincing, but now people are always saying, oh, you haven't come to our department in a while. When are you coming to our department next? So we are seeing kind of like a mental shift based on what we've been trying to push for the past 4 to 5 years. Yeah.
Oh, wow. So the key thing there is maintaining it, even if you're not seeing the results at the beginning, because you're busy doing a cultural shift, which takes time.
Yeah, definitely.
So now it's a mine, it's about profit.
Yes.
How do the executives, the leadership, handle the fact that they're not seeing a return, they're not seeing buy-in from people for, I don't know, months before actually something starts to happen? How did you maintain their commitment to the strategy?
commitment strategy. So basically, for us and the company I work for, the health and wellness department doesn't fall under HR. It's its own department. So the HR department is its own department, but the HR function is very busy, as I said, managing 4,000 employees across each site, so 8,000 in total. So we have a dedicated health and wellness department, and under it we have the wellness section, we have occupational health section, and we have a health promotions or community health section, which deals with the community, so malaria, HIV, all those issues. Then occupational health is where each employee would have to go through and do their medicals, periodic medicals, all their checkups, stuff like that. Then wellness, we then deal with employees on the mine site and taking that wellness messaging to them to avoid all the other things that will make them go to occupational health or get. So we also teach on areas like HIV sensitization and things like that. And with wellness, what we struggled with the most in the first few years was kind of how to track our return on investment.
Yeah.
Yes, so that was a big thing. But what we did incorporate that has been working is we've started to do a lot of surveys. And a survey or questionnaire. So after each Wellness Wednesday, we do hand out questionnaires to employees just for them to give us an idea of how they're finding the service or the talk provided. After each event, they do fill out a questionnaire or survey. After each training, because we've now incorporated psychological first aid trainings for different employees, different groups of employees on the mine site, especially the higher risk employees that work in the pit where the copper is mined, is who we started with. And after each training, each webinar, each Wellness Wednesday, there is a survey or questionnaire that employees fill out,
right,
which has helped us improve our service delivery. And just kind of in the questionnaire, there's an area that says, what would you like to learn about more? And we find that across the board, across both mine sites, there is certain topics that employees are leaning towards more. So then we focus on those more. Yeah. And with that, we start to see, so we have fitness classes at no cost for all our employees every single day of the week, or dotted around the towns that we operate in. So the more we take out, say, physical well-being as part of the 8 dimensions of wellness or mental well-being, we are able to see higher numbers of employees accessing our fitness classes, for example, or tuning into our webinars based on what it was 4 years ago. So the numbers are very telling for us. Yeah. So that's one of the areas that we've been able to track our return on investment. And that's kind of what we then take to our C-suite to show, look, employees are showing up to work healthier. They're exercising more. They're booking nutrition consultations more. They're showing up for our webinars more, tuning into our webinars more. So this program is working. And I think even the change has been seen on the mine site by managers based on us pushing the wellness initiative. It's pretty much in their face. Everywhere they go, there'll be a poster, or there'll be a brochure, or we'll be advertising for webinar. It's just everywhere on the mine site at this point.
What you're talking about here, correct me if I'm wrong on this, but you're talking about a cultural shift. It's not that wellness and well-being has become an add-on to HR or something that we have to do. This has become a core culture.
Yes,
so it's become a focal point, not an add-on. So it's a primary part. Anybody starts working in the mine, this is the way we work. It is the way it is. Just the same as you need to skill them on their first aid or their health and safety in a mine and understanding all the unique dynamics that are needed of how a mine works.
Yeah.
It is now that this is the culture. It is the way it is.
It is the way it is, yeah. And I like to say about safety. And so you know how when you're entering a mine site, you have to go through kind of their safety procedures and learn those and like an induction to get into the mine. So each employee that's coming onto the mine site has like a day of full-on inductions. And now we do have a wellness section in the induction package. So as soon as an employee begins, before they even start their first day of work, we have worked hard to get a wellness section into the induction package that employees go through. So the induction package that we have put in pretty much shows the services available to them. So we also have therapy services at no cost at all to all employees. So each employee is entitled to 10 free sessions a year, as well as each person on their dependent list. So we let them know about that, which that cost is taken up by our department, Health and Wellness Department. So we do have support from our managers in the C-suite and the execs of the company. So that's what we show employees when they do join. You're entitled to free therapy session, as well as everyone on your dependent list, 10 free sessions a year. These are the classes available to you every day of the week at no cost at all. This is where you access the wellness center. This is where you access occupational health. So pretty much more information around where to access all our mental health, well-being, and occupational health services, but also just for them to know this is something that the company really focuses on and pushes as priority. Yeah.
This is brilliant. So what we've got here is rather unusual for the interviews that I've been having. I will be straight with you, where a company is actually investing in the well-being, not just talking about it and ticking the box and doing, you said, started with a Wellness Wednesday, but you realize that that's not enough. We need to expand on this. But companies are saying a Wellness Wednesday once a month, thank you very much. Instead of it being the normal stuff in the canteen, we're going to put a salad there and fruit salad and maybe a beanbag. Yay, we've done it. No.
Yeah.
You're talking about the owners, you're talking about the executives, the C-suite saying we must invest in our people.
Yes.
Let's commit. And they maybe came to a commitment of we got to drive this for a year, 2 years, whatever, understanding that they're going to only find that ROI down the line because it's not an instant. And seeing this is now ingrained the culture, because a cultural shift doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, I think we did kind of have an idea that we may not see after the first year. We did know that we may not see the results of it right away. And I mean, as human beings, it takes a lot for our mindsets to be changed about anything, or for us to change our habits about anything. Is why for us, I mean, I may not be into working out per se, but I might want to tune into a webinar. So it's why for us, we've kind of incorporated lots of well-being or wellness programs or initiatives that people can tune into. So if you're more into working out, everything is important. I mean, everything is needed, but I might start off with webinars and that might encourage me to get into fitness, or I might be someone that likes to read brochures and that to help me eventually join the Wellness Wednesday talk. So for us, it would be kind of like a multifaceted approach to the entire program of having webinars, fitness classes, interdepartmental events, different kinds of events, talks, different kinds of even just like mindfulness workshops, different things across the board that people can tune into. And then eventually they start to get into the other programs that we have on offer. Yeah. So it's not just talking to employees once a week and saying, oh, Wellness Wednesday, we're going to talk about this, but we're going to talk about this, but then in practice, you can even go for a class. In practice, we have therapy services available. So we're making practical for employees, not just leaving it at the talk and then where do I go from here? We actually make it practical.
So if you were talking to a company which didn't have a well-being practice or processes in place, where would you recommend they start?
I think I would recommend they first start with, if they do get someone to run the wellness program, start with talking to the C-suite first, because without the manager or management buy-in, it's very difficult for employees to be convinced that this program is important. You do see a difference in departments. So as I said, each site has, say, roughly 15 departments across both mine sites. So you're dealing with 30 departments across both mine sites. For the departments where you'd find, say, a manager is more involved in the mental well-being program, you find that there's much more buy-in from the employees. So we've really seen the impact that just a manager being there for Wellness Wednesday talk makes a huge difference. Or manager tuning in or coming for an event, and the employees that fall under the department seeing their manager there makes a huge difference. So that management buy-in is very important. And I guess at the end of the day, they're the ones who decide whether to invest in the program or not. So start with, if you do have we have, say, management meetings that happen once a week or a number of times a week, try to get a slot in there and motivate for your program. And this is what we want to do. This is how we want to go about Wellness Wednesdays. Please, can you speak to your employees about this? Then once they do that, it flows much easier, I find. So I always say start from the C-suite first. It's much easier. And then once that management buy-in is there, you see that employees under each department kind of start to follow through with the program.
Amazing stuff. And my last question for you, because I'm observant of our time here. If you had a magic wand and you could implement anything, exactly, and you could go and wave that magic wand to implement anything around psychological safety or well-being into the workspace, in a dream world, what would you put into place?
I would put lots of things into place. I think firstly, I would start with people being open to access therapy services. Coming from Zambia and a more remote place, especially being a predominantly male mining environment, you find that for men, therapy is kind of like a taboo topic.
Yeah.
So I would start with making men open to it. I think if they're able to just talk about certain issues, it wouldn't kind of go into what it is now. So I think making people more open to the idea of therapy is helpful, and it doesn't make you look less of a man or a human being, and it's actually really good for you. So I'd start from there. Making people open up about what they're feeling more, talk through what they're feeling more, because the answer might just be a conversation away, but people just kind of hold these things in and it spirals into something that's pretty extreme.
Right.
So for me, it would be more around therapy, definitely, and just having open conversations about different struggles and where we need assistance and help. Yeah.
Therapy and conversations.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Any last words of wisdom from your side?
Words of wisdom. I would say everyone should be practicing well-being and wellness. I mean, well-being and wellness is something that we actively seek. You know, as we say, like, health can be present in the absence of, like, you can be healthy without practicing well-being. But then once you practice well-being, it's you taking that initiative to ensure you're healthy throughout. You know what I mean? Right. So if you're working out, if you're taking care of your mental health, if you're eating well, if you're taking care of your spirituality, you ensure that you're looking out and kind of like charting out your future before it happens, ensuring that you're in a good place going forward. So I think I would say everyone should really get to understand what well-being is, what the 8 dimensions are, and that we need, you know, like well-being in totality to function as healthy human beings. And it's really important. We'll have a much happier world if everyone kind of actively focuses and practices well-being. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Of course.
You've mentioned 8 dimensions a couple of times. We don't have time to dig into what those are. You've spoken about one of them, but your basic message is buy-in from the executives, realizing it's going to take time, breaking through the cultural barriers, the company cultural barriers and the personal, especially the male-dominated cultural barriers of speaking out, getting involved, and really sticking close to what you know is ultimately needed, and ingraining it as part of the way that people are treated, not as a sideline. You've got a completely separate department outside of HR's budgets and who then going to cut it, that you've got your own structure, that you're an entity, which means also it's sending out the message to the entire workforce that we're serious about it, because here's an entire department just focusing on well-being and psychological safety.
Yeah.
That's
definitely
amazing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Grace, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it.
It's a pleasure.
Good luck in your transition in your career, and I look forward to staying connected.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you. It's a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Ciao for now.
Have a good day. Bye.